This way, is it? OMG. What have we here? OMG. OMG, what have we here? As you can tell, guys, my most perfectest son in the world, Daniel, decorated our backyard here for Christmas. Halloween sillies. So he came out. We always give him the box of our decorations, and he's the one who comes out and decorates. So he did a great job, and his mommy helped him. Wave, guys.
Hi.
And there they are. We've been hanging out in the front yard all day, enjoying this beautiful fall weather. Get my 6. Okay, so I wasn't laying around in the yard all day. I actually split some wood. There it is. Still working on this pine tree. Y'all remember this ginormous pine that fell down 2 days after my family went to the Philippines this summer? Almost got it all cut up. Almost got it all split. So, here we are. It's October. It's the most wonderful time of the year. Ding dong ding. I said Christmas earlier because I always confuse the two, because Halloween is my most favoriteest holiday of the year. So I turn Christmas songs into Halloween songs. Let's walk backwards and see what we may or may not see. So, title of the video is something to the effect of, OMG, we saw a ghost for reals. Happened. You hear that tree knock? Happened yesterday, as a matter of fact, on October 1. So it's now October. Here in a couple hours, it's going to be the second October night of the month. And we love those October nights, don't we? Available on Amazon in print or Kindle, or in print with an autograph from our Etsy store. The link is in the description box below. And that's part of the story as well. So on October 1, which was yesterday, I'm taking my kid down, to catch the bus down our driveway here, very early in the morning. It was daybreak, but the sun had not yet broken the horizon. They say the proof is in the tasting of the pudding. A lot of you guys are going to remember this. I made a video a few years ago about, and this would go to you guys who have used to watch the morning rambles. I made a video, I think it was titled, "Be Leery of the First Neighbor to Bring You an Apple Pie or a Cherry Pie" or something. And that video was about how, when someone just who doesn't need to just kind of shows up and is overly kind, it could be because they want something. Well, there was this guy, his name was Bill, and he was that guy. He didn't actually, it wasn't until after we'd lived here for 2 years. So we'd lived here for 2 years, and all of a sudden this guy comes by, just as friendly as can be, shows up, wanted to meet us, and blah, blah, blah. Gave my kids some stuff, and some airborne wings. He was in the Army, he was airborne. All this. He was super, super old, like almost 90. It's like, well, wow, that's neat. We appreciate you coming by. Don't know why it took you 2 years to do that or whatever. So, but hey, thanks. Finally, nice to meet you. So we thought, well, okay, so we know the guy lives down there. Well, then he comes back and he's like, he wanted to hunt deer on our property. That's what it was. So he came by once and was super, super nice, gave our kids some stuff. And then 3 days later came back and he wanted to come here and kill all the deer. because he doesn't have anywhere to deer hunt. And I told him, and this is the truth, we don't hunt the deer on our property, and nor do we allow others to do so. That's just, and he never came back. Never saw him again. So, that's the whole saying, beware, be leery of the first neighbor to bring you an apple pie, because they probably want something. Well, so here's the deal. Over the last few, I said we never saw him again. He never came here again, but of course we see him because he lives right down the road from us. And I'd see him when we're running, and sometimes he'd wave. I'd just ignore him because, like, whatever, dude. If I know you're just coming around or you're just acting like you want to have something to do with me because there's something in it for you, I just ignore you. You know what I mean? I'm not going to give you the... I'm just not going to do this artificial kindness stuff. Smile and wave when I see you, like I'm your friendly neighbor, because I'm not. So, October 1, yesterday, as of this recording, we walked down to catch the bus, and I had a print copy, signed and autographed, of October Nights, 31 Tales for the Halloween season, with me, because I was giving it to my kid's bus driver. My kids had the same bus driver for 4 years now, and the man's a wonderful person, and he picks my kid up every morning, and we always chat for 30 seconds to a minute before he takes off, despite the very mean looks I get from the people in the car to 3 cars that are stuck behind him. He's just he's a good driver. He's great with the kids. He's just a wonderful person. So I wanted to give him a copy of October Nights, 31 Tales for the Halloween season, which, again, you can get with an autograph from our Etsy store, and the link is in the description box below. So we're going down there. We get to the driveway, and did you hear that? We might have an audience back here, folks. That sounded like a panther scream. Do you remember I caught a potential black panther on camera about 2 months ago? Whew, this video is getting really creepy now. It's not just about the story of me and my son seeing a ghost. Okay, it's Carolina wren. At least that's what it wants us to think it is. Okay. I'm hearing tree knocks. We've got activity up here tonight, a lot of it. Okay, so we're going down the driveway to catch the bus. October Nights in hand for the bus driver. We clearly, both of us, saw the entire road in front of us, because I remember saying, oh, isn't it a beautiful morning? Look at the deer in the field across the road. We saw the deer. There was no one there. We stop. I give my son a hug and a kiss. I'm like, oh, I'm going to miss you today. I wish you didn't have to go to school, blah, blah, blah. All true, though, by the way. And then I come up from that hug and that kiss, and across the road directly in front of us is this old man. He was not there when we went down there. I saw him and my son saw him. He comes across the road and he says, hello, how is everything? And I thought, something came over me, like a feeling of peace. And in my head, I said to myself, don't ignore this guy. He's like, he's up there, man. Be kind, right? That's the big movement now in the U.S. Be kind. And I said, oh, good, everything's good. And he says, isn't everything just good? And he was smiling. And I noticed that when he had been around those last couple times, he didn't seem happy. He didn't seem peaceful, and his smile seemed contrived or artificial or fake. But I could tell this time his smile was genuine. So he started to chat us up a bit, small talk, and we were polite, we were kind. But the bus came about a minute later, so we didn't have a lot of time to spend with him. The bus comes up, the bus door opens, my son gets on the bus, and me and this old man are standing there watching my kid get on the bus. I gave the bus driver said hi to me, but he never said hi to the old man beside me. And I gave the bus driver the book, and he was like, oh, wow, thanks. I don't even think he knows I'm a writer. Well, he knows now, but I think before this, I don't think he knew. He's very professional. Picks your kid up and drops him off. Doesn't ask you squat about your personal life. Just great guy. And so he left, and then I'm waving, at my son as the bus is going down the road. And I turn, and I go back, and I come inside the gate, and I shut the gate. And my intentions were to just blow this guy off, not even say bye. But as I'm shutting the gate, I had that same feeling come over me that there was just something different, a feeling of peace, a very restful feeling, like a very relaxed feeling. I think we need to step into the woods. Yeah, they call me Crazy Lake for a reason. You have a potential Bigfoot Sasquatch back here banging on trees 40 feet behind you, it sounds like, and you go toward it instead of away from it. Migratory birds. It's fall. Do I really want to go in those woods? Because you know what it might be? It might be old Red Eyes. This is October. Now I'm hearing footsteps. Let's definitely go into the woods. Okay, so I was closing the gate, decided I would say goodbye and wish this gentleman, a good day. So I look up, and he's still standing there, exactly where he was, same spot in our driveway, and he's still looking at me, and he's still got that silly, almost goofy-looking smile on his face. And I just said, hey, have a good day, hey, 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 have a good day. But I didn't sing it like that. I just said, hey, have a good day. Have a good day. He didn't say anything in reply, but he just kept that goofy smile on his face. And he just stood there. So I turned around and started walking back up the driveway. Usually, I don't do that. I usually have my running gear on, and as soon as the bus leaves, I do my morning run. But I was still in my man jammies because the night before I'd been up till like 11:30 watching UVA, the University of Virginia, beat the University of Miami Hurricanes in one of the strangest college football games I've ever seen in my life. From the odd catch where the ball bounced off the dude's back once he was, flat on the ground. Dude just happens to roll over and there's the ball and he grabs it and it's a touchdown catch. To, Miami coming back to within 2 and running the clock down to 3 seconds while taking the ball down to like the 10-yard line, and then their field goal kicker missed a 33-yard field goal so that Miami lost by 2 and UVA actually won one of the strangest games I've ever seen in my life. Watch directly behind me. So I had to walk back up the driveway to get into my running gear to go on my run. And when I got about halfway up the driveway, I turned back around because I was kind of concerned about this guy. He wasn't saying anything back. He was just standing there with that goofy smile. So I turned around and I looked and he wasn't there. He was gone. And I looked left, I looked right, but we planted these trees out here 5 years ago to make privacy hedges around our property, and the trees were in the way. That's how much they've grown. That's a good thing. It's a nice problem to have. So I jogged up to our house and got up on the porch, which would have put me about 5 feet higher elevation, and I could clearly see over all of the trees into the road. And I looked and he was gone. He wasn't there. And I thought, that's odd because he couldn't. If I were jogging, I wouldn't have been able to get out of that area had I gone left or had I gone right. And the amount of time it took me to get from that gate to my porch. There's no way a 90-year-old man walked out of either area. So I got home. I went in the house and I told my wife, I said, hey, we just saw so-and-so. He actually talked to us. And she said, I hope you weren't mean to him. I said, no, I actually, I didn't ignore him. I actually said hi and all these things and was polite. And I told her about how then he was just gone. Strange. And then so at the end of the day, and this is again October 1, my kid comes home from school. He gets off the bus and I'm down there waiting on him. I mean, they'll let him off whether we're there or not. But it's just when my kid's coming home, man, I'm down there waiting. I can't wait, So, I see that my kid talks to the bus driver for just a second. And then he gets off the bus, he crosses the road, and he says, hey, Dad. And I says, what? And he goes, I just asked, my bus driver if he saw that old man that we were talking to this morning because I was going to tell him that he just wanted to hunt deer on our property. And I said, okay. And he says, my bus driver said that he didn't see anybody with us this morning. And I was like, really? He said, yeah. And he goes, you know what's weird, Dad? And I said, what's that? He goes, after I got on the bus and the bus started, going away, and when we made the turn, when I looked back and waved, when we always wave goodbye just before the bus goes out of the turn, I didn't see him. It was just you standing there alone. But I know that we saw him, and I know that we spoke to him, because I remember it. We were being nice to him, and we usually just ignore him. Okay, I'm going to wrap this up because there's something in here. And there might be more than one. I showed you the wood I split today, and I said it was relevant to this story. Before I started splitting that wood, I went down to the mailbox to check the mail because the mail lady had come by, and I saw something I'd never seen in the 5 years we lived here. A hearse came by, a hearse. And behind that hearse was a funeral procession. I stood at parade rest to respect this funeral procession as it went by. At the very end, I started seeing people I knew that live out here. I don't, a couple of them I know their names, but I know them basically by seeing them sometimes. The very last car in that funeral procession, he's somebody I speak to once or twice a week when I'm out running in the mornings, and he's out checking on his cattle. Lives a couple miles away from me. He goes, "You not going up to so and so's funeral?" I said, "It's the old man, Bill." I said, "Oh, shoot, did he die?" And I'm thinking, how could they have him buried so quick? He said, "Yeah, he died about 5 days ago, and they're laying him to rest up here. Cemetery it's about 2 miles up the road from me, going the other way. I bike past it every morning. I go biking." I said, "He died 5 days ago." He said, "Yep." He says, "All right, gotta go," and he just took off. It's October. The veil grows thin. I hope you're enjoying your October nights. See you next time for more.